we're here with Billy from Fuji. He's one of the Fuji guys, and he's here to tell us about some of Fuji's new products. I'm into street photography myself, and I know you guys recently launched the 23 f2. I've shot with the 35-1.4 and the 23-1.4, but following in the line of the 35 f2, you just launched the 23. So what can you tell us about that?
Well, first of all, welcome to the Fujifilm booth here at PhotoPlus Expo. The 23mm lens, the 23 f2mm lens is our latest weather-resistant lens. It's part of our somewhat dual lenses, very compact, perfect for mirrorless. The 35 f2 that was already been launched earlier and used by many, including myself, it's one of my favorite lenses because of its size and weight. It's also a weather-resistant lens, and again, being very compact makes it a perfect camera to take, perfect lens to take with you. The 23mm follows in the same footsteps. So again, using a similar stepping motor and similar design structure as the 35 f2, it's going to offer that 35mm equivalency. So again, a perfect focal length for sort of street photography. Being at f2 too is not going to be a big issue compared to the existing 23 f1.4, because again, when you're shooting street, you're really closing the aperture down a little bit more, allowing you to do things like, you know, zone focusing. So it is one of my favorite lenses, the one that I carry with me all the time, in addition to the 35 f2. We also, in our lens roadmap, are introducing a 50mm f2 lens, again following a very similar structure, and that's later in 2017, so check back on us for that.
Awesome.
In addition to that, of course, you know, all of the Fuji lenses are, of course, of high quality. It's one of our key things to do to try to make the aperture rings feel, you know, as equal as much as possible. And these new dual lenses like the 35 f2, the 23 f2, those are actually going from top of Fuji, food chain if you want to call it, the standard of aperture fill. And you know, as new lenses come out, we also trying to build, you know, weather resistant lenses as much as possible as well.
Awesome. Now, I know what everyone really wants to hear about, the big hit from Photokina in Germany, was the announcement of the GFX medium format system. Can we take a look at that?
Yeah, let's walk down to the to this side. So right here, as you can see, we do have on display under glass, because it is still a developmental announcement. Although it's a medium format sensor, we're really calling it a G format because it's not necessarily a 645, you know, standard medium format. And of course, there's so much formats within medium format and large format. So, you know, for simplicity's sake, it's about, you know, 44 by 33mm dimensions. Fuji's G format using GF lenses that were newly developed for this system. We're obviously trying to bring mirrorless into this technology. We know about a lot of the benefits of size and weight and having the ability to see the picture before you even capture it. And, you know, this market to us is important because, you know, our APS-C size sensor, the X series cameras, offer very close to full frame sensors in terms of quality images, in terms of high ISO, low noise. So it didn't make sense for us to have a slight boost. So by jumping to this G format, we're now, you know, 1.7 times larger than a full frame sensor.
The interesting thing is looking at the body, it's probably the size of a more pro-level APS-C DSLR, I would say, like a D7200 from Nikon. Or
well, the idea and the design with the GFX system, of course, is, you know, obviously size and weight. And being mirrorless, we're able to design sort of the mount to be very small. So again, allowing us to reduce the distance between, you know, the end of the lens to the sensor itself, creates, of course, smaller design overall, including lenses. The same designer that designed the XT2 was brought in to make this larger sensor camera feel more compact. And again, if you take sort of like a D800 or a D800 series or a Canon 5D series, and you take this profile and you stick it right in front, it somewhat fits that similar profile. And weight-wise too is very similar. So really, you know, traditionally a medium format it's on a tripod, it's quite heavy sometimes, but this system does have some of that versatility.
So for people coming from one of those systems who haven't shot mirrorless before, what would you say the advantages of taking this system mirrorless are? You know, obviously things like an electronic viewfinder.
Yeah.
What do you see as the big standouts?
Well, again, similar to our X-series cameras, mirrorless has brought, you know, lightweight designs, right? By allowing us to reduce the flange back distance, we can design the lenses to be more compact. In addition to that, because there's no mirrors, again, we're losing that much more from the design of the body. So again, if you look at the Pentax 645Z, you know, a great camera, but you can see, you know, it because of the mirror that's built into it, it's quite deep. And also the lenses are quite large as well, which makes it harder to be a walk-around camera. And we obviously are looking and aiming at top image quality, but not just for studio, and possibly because of its weather-resistant structure for landscape photography as well. So yes, very versatile and very expandable.
So obviously you guys were developing this at the same time as Hasselblad and their system. How do you think the two systems are compared? Obviously it's premature to say. Maybe from a price perspective, I've heard that you guys are probably going to have an advantage there. Based on sort of a spec level thing, what are your thoughts?
Well, for us, it's not necessarily about specs. We're taking basically a medium format heritage, you know, where we made lenses in the past and even bodies, and we're taking that know-how. So even though the sensor size is similar, like the Hasselblad system, you know, with Fuji's processing and know-how, I think the look and feel of the images will be slightly different. And the idea of film being integrated into these cameras through film simulation, it's really going to make our system really stand out. You know, its expandability too is very important for us, and that's a different thing that we're trying to achieve over the Hasselblad system. So if you want to be as compact as possible, then you don't need to use the EVF that's detachable and becomes a little bit more compact. But then if you wanted, you know, if you wanted the EVF, if you wanted a battery grip, that's all capable of kind of making it a bigger system. And then if you wanted to be doing sort of a live output through HDMI, whether you have a creative director that needs to see in big screen what's happening to that scene, again, it's all about expanding the system to various types of photographers, right?
Now, is that partially targeted at video, and what are the video specs?
This is mainly targeted towards, you know, again, shooting in studios where you do have a creative director that's kind of looking at the shot, or maybe a client that wants to see pictures right away. But of course, there will be video included with the GFX system, and it'll be offering full HD video. And that's really where we're set for it for now, due to the high processing power and obviously the large sensor and the large sensor readout and the heat concerns of 4K video, right?
All right, well, I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for showing us some of Fuji's new gear.
Thank you, Josh, and thanks for coming to the Fuji booth.